Hey everybody, welcome to Brian's house. We've got a couple games set up here for some Adepticon Horus Heresy Narrative event practice. We have two tables. We got one here and one here. And there are going to be four of us playing. Conveniently, we have two traders and two loyalists. So what we're going to do is do a double header today. We're going to take the two traders and versus the two loyalists, play two missions, one as attacker, one as defender each, and just kind of shake down our lists. We're getting ready for Adepticon in a month or so, a little over a month, and we just want to see how Horus Heresy is going to play at 1250 points. That's all we have for these first opening rounds of the narrative event. So I've got my Raven Guard. I'm going to be going up against Jeremy's Word Bearers, and a little later on, you're going to see me play against Tom's World Eaters. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Super cool tables that Brian has just kicking around his house because that's what Brian does. He just collects hobby stuff. Anyway, we don't actually have missions for the narrative event, of course, because they're going to tell us what they are when they get there. So we just picked a mission out of the book that was kind of attacker defendery. We're going to be playing Tide of Carnage with just Dawn of War deployments. So Jeremy's over here, I'm over there, and then No Man's Land in the middle. You get points for having scoring units in your opponent's zone, in No Man's Land, and in your own zone at the end of the game. Let's take a look at the list real quick. Jeremy has a Spartan full of tactical Marines. There's 10 Marines with a... What else is in there? You've got a Chaplain and a Diabolist, right?
No, Chaplain and then a normal Centurion.
Okay, yeah, because you have to have that extra console type for your
right in the Centurion.
Your Rite of War, yeah.
Or
not your Rite of War, that's your Legion rules.
Legion rules. I have to have two compulsory HQs. And then I have the Terminator he has Terminator armor with the chain fist.
Okay, and there's a Rhino full of tactical Marines.
Yep, Sergeant with a melta bomb.
Cool. Rapier laser destroyers.
Just two of them.
Yep, two. And then in reserve, he's got a Contemptor Dreadnought in the drop pod. He's borrowing the drop pod here because his is still a work in progress and not even assembled yet. So he's got 6 weeks or so to get that done.
Yep.
I think we can do it. And there's a Carries Assault Cannon, and that's it on that Contemptor Dreadnought. Oh, and there's his guys in reserve. Pardon the Blood Angel. Again, stuff is in work in progress. Hey, there's the doorbell. That must be Tom.
Yeah, I actually had to paint all new HQs because some of the missions didn't allow named characters.
Yeah, I know, and that's the best way for word bearers to run because having that requirement, having those type of characters, it makes sense to use the named characters. Me, I have a 1250 points. I actually brought a Delgadus, so I can actually use the Decapitation Strike Rite of War. He's hanging out down here. I've got two 5-man More Death and Sniper squads. I'm the attacker in this, so actually my prereqs were having one HQ and two elite choices as my core. And for me, only my elite choices score. So More Death are kind of a no-brainer for me to take then. So I have two squads of 5 snipers. I have 10 Combi Flamers and a Rhino that are infiltrating because that's kind of the cool thing Raven Guard get to do. They get to infiltrate the hell out of the board. The only thing I actually deployed first was my Whirlwind Scorpius back here. Jeremy counter-deployed back here. And then I infiltrated everything else here, just parking guys on objectives out of the way. I also have a Dreadnought drop pod in reserve. Mine has a multi-melt and a graviton gun and a chain fist. And that's it. So at the moment I have the first turn, unless Jeremy can see. You want to try to get that on camera? Go for it.
Oh, here did be the Dark Gods.
Where'd it go? There it is. It's a 2. So I still have the first turn. I'm going to do my scout move with that. Well, actually, all my guys can scout now that I think of it because they're all more Dathan, which is pretty sweet. And then I'll drop my drop pod in, and we'll get on with turn 1.
They took the 3 walls.
Yeah, exactly. So as part of the special rules for this mission, we get 3 different colored dice. We have to roll every time we roll dice. So mine are the 3 copper ones right here, or bronze, excuse me.
How's the caffeine in here?
If we get 666s on those, we get a free artillery bombardment for that turn, which is pretty cool, but it's very unlikely to happen. Still, it's kind of fun. So what I did, my Dreadnought drop pod came down, of course, turn 1, landed here just to kind of roadblock the Spartan and pin him back a little, and he stayed embarked, of course, because that's the smart thing to do with him. And he tried to pop the Rhino, but Jeremy made his cover safe through the ruins right here. And I did a hull point and I stunned it with the graviton gun. Multi-melted did nothing though. Then I got 3 shots from the Scorpius and managed to hit it 3 times and only did 1 hull point and stunned it or shook it again. So still wasn't able to finish it off. My snipers are out of range. They're just standing back holding objectives and just they're going to do their job there the whole game. But the more Deathan came forward. I scouted first. They jumped out. Encircled the rapiers here and got a couple hits on the Rhino. Actually managed to do two more hull points to the Rhino with their flamers, and the rapiers are just gone. They did 12 wounds to the Rapier squad with their Twin Link Rending Flamers. I was hoping to be able to pop that so I could maybe get a couple more of the TAC Marines. If I had got them with the Dreadnought, then I could have killed them with the Scorpius, and it would have been just a big mess. But you said they passed their leadership check, though?
Yes, they did.
Yes, they did. Yeah, because Word Bears don't pass. They don't fail leadership checks. 3 dice. Take your lowest 2. Really good stuff. So that's it. I don't know if we have First Blood in this mission. I don't even remember what we got anymore. So Jeremy's going to try to counterpunch me in the face. He's going to get those TAC Marines and shoot my Mordathan. He's got a drop pod that's going to come down somewhere. I think maybe over here to shoot the Scorpius. Because I don't have a whole lot that can come after him. That's true. In this mission, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 scoring units. My Dreadnought does score because he's an elite choice, and Jeremy only has 1, 2, the tactical Marines in both vehicles.
So you bring a Spartan in a 1,200 point game.
Yeah. But when we chain fist that Spartan open, that's what we're going for next turn. All right, so we're going to go to the bottom of turn 1, and Jeremy's got a drop pod that's going to show up somewhere. Maybe one of us will get that orbital bombardment. Oh, I did forget to mention too, as part of the mission rules, we each got a stratagem. Jeremy chose the 3 pieces of the defense line right here, which did nothing, of course, because my flamers ignored it. But now they're going to do something. They're going to give me cover.
Yeah,
they're going to give me great cover. And then I chose to get the seize the initiative on a 4+, which, considering I went first, didn't really come into play. So, bottom 1 finally coming up. Well, the majority of this game is going to be happening right here in this corner, but before we talk about what did or did not happen here, Jeremy's drop pod tried to land right here, so his Dreadnought could disembark and shoot my Scorpius in the side, but he scattered 11 inches right off the table and is back in ongoing reserves. So that was one nice little victory for me this round where I didn't have to do anything. The second part was when the Spartan opened up on the drop pod with all 4 of its las cannons, and I made all 3 of the cover saves that I need to make. I rolled 3 5-ups on my drop pod, which is very nice. Thank you. The Dreadnought drop pod and have it getting shrouded on the turn it comes in really paid off, because he was planning on blowing it up and then charging my Dreadnought with his chain fist and a couple guys with melta bombs, and that would have been really bad. These guys, because they disembarked, they had to emergency disembark out of a non-assault vehicle, just advanced forward and double tapped with their bolters, only killed 2 of my Mordathan, and that's it. So I'm going to jump back in the Rhino and get the heck out of Dodge right behind that tree over there and sit on that objective for the rest of the game and let my Dreadnought just have some fun. So, top of turn 2 coming up. Alright, the game continues to revolve around Jeremy's castle right here. Shooting phase. Actually, movement first. The only thing I had that moved was my Mordathan. They jumped back in the Rhino, and it scooted around here, and then it went flat out in reverse. It's going to end up behind those trees. The Dreadnought disembarked over here, and then the snipers, the Dreadnought, both shot at this tactical squad, and then the Dreadnought charged him. He killed 1 with a Hammer of Wrath, 2 in combat. I killed 1 of the snipers before that, and then his melta bomb missed, and he rolls 2 6s and a 5 for his leadership check, and I swept them off the table and consolidated behind the defense line. So that Contemptor is really paying off right now. I killed 3 Marines here with Whirlwind shot with the Scorpius Barrage, but the Chaplain mate is making them fearless. They don't really care about their casualties. So that's it for turn 2. Jeremy's down to 1 scoring unit, the Spartan, and the drop pod in reserve, which is coming down right about now. So not over yet, but he's in a heap of trouble with 1 scoring unit to my 4. So bottom of 2 coming up. All right, Jeremy's starting to bring the fight to me. His Dreadnought drop pod landed right here, and he popped my Rhino, so my Mordathan had to get out. They made their leadership check, though, so they're not pinned. The Spartan kind of came flying down here, and he's staying away from my drop pod and just scooping the edge of the table. Took shots against my Scorpius. I managed to save the penetrating hit from some cover from the front here, and the glance on the side armor did get through, so he's down to 2 hull points. But that's it. So I lost a Rhino in the hull point, and now we're going into turn 3. Top of turn 3, I tried to take advantage of some of the rules of the Dreadnought drop pod, with the doors actually still being considered part of the model. It specifically mentions it in their rules, so we play it like it actually is the model. I tried to drop my barrage from the Scorpius right on top of it, so I could hit the Dreadnought and the pod. and whiffed. I went way off here and only managed to do a single hull point with a glance on one of the doors. The Contemptor took another hull point off it with a graviton shot. Actually, he took a graviton hit off of both because his graviton cannon with a haywire shot managed to hit both models. And I did take a point off here, and he failed his 3-up cover save on this guy. And then I had to multi-melt the actual pod to blow it up, but it's gone. And then the snipers used their sudden strike to try to get a few lucky rending hits on him, and not going to happen. I only rolled 4s, not even a single 5, let alone a 6. So that was it for this turn. The Dreadnought's okay. He's got a long way to go to get to anything, and he's kind of out in the middle open. But I don't have a whole lot that can really hurt him. My Contemptor's slowly making his way there. The Spartan's causing me problems around the corner. He's still coming after the whirlwind though. But bottom of 3 coming up. Oh, my Mordathan kind of just keeps shimmying around just to hide. They're staying away from it because they are a scoring unit. They're planning on coming around here end game to grab that objective. All right, bottom of 3. The Contemptor killed one of my Mordathan before the Sergeant tanked the last 3 wounds on himself with his artificial armor. The Spartan finally finished off the Scorpius with its last cannons. The one that hit the front arc, I saved again. But the 2 that hit the side were clean, no cover, and they both penetrated and blew it up. The Tactical Marines, the Champion, and the Chaplain jumped out and punched the drop pod in the face. Excuse me. Carbonated water is not good for me. They're good to go though. The drop pod is no longer there, so that gives me kind of a clear round or a clear avenue into shooting them with my Dreadnought. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. So that's it. That's turn 3. Turn 4 is coming up. Top of 4, I shot it with a plasma pistol and 4 sniper rifles. Did nothing to the Contemptor, so he's heading my way. My Contemptor over here backed up so that his back is against the impassable part of the terrain, and he hit with a multi-melta but failed to penetrate. And my Mordathan are just running into the deployment zone over there. That's it. My turn 4 is done. Jeremy's up. Bottom of 4, Jeremy's starting to crawl back into this one. He killed 3 of my Mordathan with las cannon shots. I did get some cover shots through the wall and the ruins here and his own guys, so I only lost a few, which is good. And they made their leadership check, so they're okay. Bolter fire also from the Marines right there. The Contemptor though managed to get into combat. Killed all 3 of the regular Mordathan snipers. My 2 guys with melta bombs were able to attack back. Now, according to the Adepticon rules for this event, everyone with a melta bomb may use it. I rolled double 3s though, and they both missed. That was really miserable. So they got swept off the table. They got caught in sweeping events. Now, the coolest thing that happened was that while Jeremy was shooting over here and I'm making cover saves, I managed to roll a 666. On my special dice for the orbital barrage. What happens is immediately we resolve a strength 8 AP3 large blast ordnance barrage attack on anywhere I want. It scatters full distance though, so I targeted the Marines to try to knock out his last scoring unit. I put it right back here because it's barrage. It would have just spread out and killed all the grunts. But it scattered back and actually hit the Spartan. I did glance it, so I took a hull point off the Spartan, which is cool, but not what I wanted. That's it. So we're going to go into the top of turn 5. This is actually the last turn. So Jeremy's got to make some hay here. So here we are, top of turn 5. The Dreadnought shot at, along with the Mordathan, and then charged into the tactical squad here. There's 1 Marine left. The Champion is actually on a single wound from the Hammer of Wrath hit he failed to make a save from. No, he took a wound from a bolter, didn't he? Something like that. Or no, it was a graviton gun. He took a wound in shooting.
It was a bolter.
Yeah. And then they did 2 pending attacks back to him, though. He is actually immobilized. So I'm going to be reduced attacks next turn. But he's still alive. That means then that we're going to get to fight another round of combat in the bottom of 5, and they're at least not going to go anywhere in the top or in the movement phase. Where that Spartan goes, I don't know. Over here, I just ran my guys down the hill to get as much distance between the Contemptor and them as possible so that they can still hold the objective, but not be in danger of being charged at. So, bottom of 5, this is the end of the game coming up. So the bottom of turn 5 kind of rolled out like this. The Spartan dropped all its shots on my Mordathan right there, and they just went to ground behind the wall and made all their 2-up cover saves. The Contemptor back there managed to pick off one of the snipers with his assault cannon. He was out of cover and into the line of sight, but they are okay. And then in combat, I got 1 wound dealt to the squad here, and Jeremy chose to take it on the Chaplain. and he died.
So 2 complete.
But that's his Warlord. So I didn't get Warlord, and I couldn't kill his last troop that was scoring. In return, they did manage to just get the one hit with the Chain Fist in that managed to wreck it. So the Dreadnought got wrecked. They consolidated on the objective. Now, we weren't paying attention when we actually set up the table because we were kind of like thinking about different missions and other stuff when we we put this together. This mission in the book doesn't actually use objectives, but we were playing it this way as the primary, and then the table quarters would have kind of been the secondary thing. As it shook out, Jeremy's got 1. I have 1, so it's a draw there. I do have a scoring unit in his deployment zone, and he has none in mine, and we are both kind of even in the center with scoring and denial units. We also realized late after the game that his Spartan could have been a scoring unit. It probably wouldn't be at Adepticon, so we're playing it like it wasn't. It's not in his zone anyway, so it wouldn't matter.
10 scoring guys in here.
Jeremy got Warlord, and he got Last Man Standing because he has 4 units technically alive. I have 2. So the final victory point total is 7 for me for having his deployment zone. And Jeremy has 1 for my Warlord and 2 for Last Man Standing, so 7-2 final score. Great game. We're going to try to squeeze in another game as soon as these fellows are finished over here. Some of the special rules for the campaign in this first round of mission did come into play. Every single time we were rolling dice, we were trying to roll those special dice. We had so many rolls that were 2 6s and a 5, or a 6, a 5, and a 4, but only 1 that actually did anything, and that was right over here. So, good game. We'll see you again in a bit.